Hi, everybody. It's Silver Fisher. Thank you for joining me today. Say, I want to tell you about an awesome miracle that happened in my life. It happened a while back. My son, Little Silver, and I were living in the back of my SUV truck because we were poor. I was going through a tough time in my life. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money. And Silver was growing up. We'd sleep in the back of my truck at a park, and sometime we'd park in a neighborhood. But every morning we'd drive over to a small junior college in my neighborhood called Cypress Junior College. And we'd go there and we'd use the library and we'd use the cafeteria and things. And we used the locker room to clean up, and I'll never forget one time we got out of the truck and we walked over there towards the school, and the security guard approached me. And he said, "Excuse me, do you go to college here? Are you a registered student?" And I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "Because I see you come in here every morning with your son and, you guys use the facility and stuff." Well, you can't use the facilities unless you're a registered student here. Well, I got kind of sad. I thought to myself, oh, what am I going to do? Where am I going to hang out with Silver all day? Well, I decided to take a class. It was kind of late in the semester, but I went to the register office and I looked through the registration book there, and the only class that was available was Speech 101. I had never given a speech. I had never been to college. I never wanted to give a speech or go to college, but I had to do what I had to do to take care of Silver. So I took a Speech 101 class, and on that particular day when I showed up to class, the teacher was talking about a particular subject. She said, there's this speech tournament coming up, and I'd like you all to participate. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no desire to do this. And she said, and there'll be food there, and we'll get in the bus and we'll go. I thought, food? Okay, I can go there on Saturday and get some food and stuff. And she said, so show up on Saturday, get some food, and, let's go to the speech tournament. Well, I show up there on Saturday and I grab some food, and the teacher and everybody kind of like convinces me to get in the bus with them, right? And she said, this is going to be great. She's talking to us in the bus and stuff. She goes, this is going to be really great because there's going to be colleges from San Francisco to San Diego there at Northridge College. And, it's going to be really great. Silver, by the way, what are you going to speak about today? And I looked at her and I thought to myself, oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you, Silver and I had been praying a lot and reading our Bible a lot. I mean, I didn't have much else to entertain Silver with, so we just used to pray and read our Bible at the park on a blanket a lot. And I told my teacher, I said, I think I'm going to talk about prayer. And she looked at me, she said, "Oh, no, you're not." She goes, "Do not talk about God, do not talk about the Bible, and do not talk about prayer." She goes, "You're going to have to think of something else." And we're driving there and I'm going like, what else am I going to talk about? Well, we get there to the speech tournament and, there's all these buses from these other colleges in the parking lot. There's all these students walking around practicing hand gestures and eye contact with each other. And I'm getting a little nervous, because I'd never been to a speech tournament. But, what I discovered was that we were going to go from classroom to classroom to classroom all day long and give this speech in front of different students and in front of different judges. Each classroom had 4 judges and a room full of students all day long. And so my speech teacher wasn't in any of those classes all day long. And so when I showed up there, I just talked about prayer and God all day long in all of these classrooms in front of these judges. Came the evening ceremony, the judges said, okay, for the category of speech to persuade from Cypress Junior College, the Superior Speaker Award goes to Silver Fisher from Cypress Junior College. Well, I went up there to get my award, and the teacher ran down the aisle there and gave me a big hug and said, "Silver, I knew you could do it." I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I talked about prayer all day long in front of all these students and judges, and I won. And it was so awesome. But what happened after that was even more miraculous, was that all of these other professors from these other colleges started calling me and asked me to go to their classes at Fullerton College, Cerritos College, Long Beach City, Long Beach State, and other colleges, psychology classes, English classes, speech classes. Sometimes they had forms. They asked me to come and give my award-winning speech in all of those different forums. I always asked them, I said, "Oh, I'd love to. Can you bring some food?" And they'd say, "Yeah, we'll bring food. No problem. Just come give your award-winning speech." And so I got to give that speech about prayer and God at all of these different venues, at the speech tournament and at these different colleges, at secular colleges. And it was awesome. You know, a great thing that came out of that was that God revealed to me in my trial and in my poverty that He had a gift for me, a tremendous gift that, looking back on it now, I've been able to use for my entire life. I mean, I've given speeches many, many times and training in corporate America, in prisons, in rescue missions. I was invited to go to India and China and London to speak. God has just blessed my life through this gift that He gave me. But understand this very important point, if you will, that had I not been going through that trial, had I not been living in the back of that SUV with my son, Little Silver, I would have never taken a college class, Speech 101. I would have never discovered that gift of speaking. You know, God used that circumstance and that situation to reveal His greatest gift to me that not only fed me for a season, but has fed me and Little Silver for a lifetime. Now, my challenge to you is to invoke John 15:7 from the Bible. It says, if, this is God talking, He says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it shall be done for you. Now, my prayer at that time was, God, feed Silver and I. Give us an opportunity to eat every single day was my only prayer. And God delivered. He delivered. And He knew what I needed, and He knew that I needed it for more than just a day, a week, or a season. He knew I would need that forever. And He gave me a gift to supply what He promised to give me through that scripture. Again, my challenge to you is to invoke that scripture and to ask God for a gift so He can continue to bless you throughout your life. This is Silver Fisher. God bless you. Thank you for joining me.